Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Amateur, and this is a new action espionage thriller coming to you from director James Hawes. And this film focuses on the story of Charlie Heller, whose wife is murdered by some bad people, and he's like an analyst at the CIA, and he insists upon being the one to find and kill them. And he finds ways to be trained as a killer and then goes off on his own, but the CIA's not too happy with one of their agents going rogue. And this film has a very subtle, sleek kind of direction to it. I think Hawes is channeling what he's done on Slow Horses and in Black Mirror to really capture a grittiness, a rawness, but also something that is sleek and engaging. It looks well made. And there's interesting storytelling elements where we visualize when Charlie is struggling with remembering his wife. There's good use of editing where it's like splicing in shots of traumatic moments to really accentuate his struggle, but also there's moments where his wife Sarah, played by Rachel Brosnahan, will fluidly show up into scenes, and you see Rami Malek, who plays Charlie, engaging or seeing her, and it's very smooth, it's very effective. And this film never gives up on reinforcing that element that he loved his wife so much, and that's why he's doing it. And this film, I think the action and espionage elements are solid. There's some... First off, the whole pool scene that they give away in the trailer, just like, who in their right mind would swim in that pool? I just would not. I simply would not. But there's some cool elements to that, and the film, I do feel like, really borrows a lot from other espionage thrillers and stuff like that, and narratively, the beats feel a little bit, feel a little familiar and a little bit contrived. And the action, especially when there's like hand-to-hand combat, it's over-edited, and I think they're trying to hide like stunt work, of course. But I do feel like overall this film has a good sense of tension. From a writing standpoint, I do feel like it's a little convoluted, a little flabby. Like there's whole elements that like go in and out. Like they introduce this John Bernthal character. Love John Bernthal. John Bernthal's great in this movie. But did he really add much to this movie in terms of like narratively being a part of this? I do feel like one of the more interesting additions, because there's a few characters that I feel like are great additions to this, and one of them is, well, Lawrence Fishburne Henderson, who's the one who's like training Charlie and then has to go chase Charlie. And there's some elements with his character and what happens to him that are just like, duh, of course that's going to happen. But I do find him to be an interesting character, and he has a great dynamic with Charlie, and I think Fishburne and Malik have good rapport. I do really like Katrina Balfe's character and how she's introduced. She adds layers and emotion to this film and very intimate moments. I'm a little frustrated with how telegraphed her role in this movie is and what happens to her. I think the film really leans on some of those tropes about, especially women in these kinds of films. But overall, I think the story is effective. The journey that I feel like Charlie goes on is really effective and engrossing. And then I think Rami Malek really sells this role perfectly. He brings a lot of personality. I love Rachel Brosnahan in the limited moments she's in this film. She's just so charismatic and charming, and I love her dynamic with Rami Malek. Holt McElhenney is so good at being that CIA director character, and a little bit like, I don't think he's a great guy, and I think a bit of that casting is there. But overall, I think this, and like Michael Stuhlbarg, I really liked for the very limited amount of time that he pops up in the film as well. And at the end of the day, I think this is an effective, engaging espionage thriller that a little too familiar, a little too overstuffed and convoluted, but a great cast, some slick direction, and some interesting ideas, I think makes this one stand out. But those are my thoughts on The Amateur. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.